Shani's favourite animal at Rainforest Station?
Oh, that's a tricky one because you can't choose between your children, right? So it's hard to choose between the animals here. But my favourite species to work with would be dingoes, devils, koalas and kangaroos. So four. I know. It's like asking me to choose which is my favourite niece or nephew. I just couldn't do it.
No. So we've got Rosa, Lewis, Leah, Perodromo, Anna, Paula, Santris. Wow, there's a lot of names there. I can't. It's scrolled on before I got to read them all. So we've got Madison, hi from Riley and Nina. Oh, we've just got our little guy that we're going to be talking about next hopping around. So
the macropods that we've seen so far are not animals that are only found up here in the wet tropics region. But this next animal we're going to have a little look at goes by the name of Jimmy. And Jimmy is an endemic species, which means he's only found up here in the wet tropics region of far north Queensland. And he is, of course, a beautiful Lumholtz tree kangaroo. Now, as you can see, Jimmy is a little bit different in appearance to Lily, although they are pretty closely related, Amanda. In fact, they say that the tree kangaroo descended from the rock wallaby, which is a really close relative to the swamp wallaby. So Lily and Jimmy are pretty much cousins.
Except they just live in different places.
They do.
Is there any other differences?
Key factor in that tree kangaroo.
Wow, look at his long tail. That's cool.
Now, we did look at Lily's tail earlier. Hers is a little bit shorter, but it was still pretty long. But most people seem to think that if an animal lives in the tree and they have a long tail, that they use that long tail as a fifth limb. So like a monkey uses their tail to swing from the branches. But this isn't true for tree kangaroos. Just like Lily, Jimmy uses his tail purely for balance. And he will actually hop on both feet across the branches, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
So you'd think they'd fall off if they did that. But that tail just counterbalances him so that he's not going to topple off down to the ground.
And who else have we got on? Mitzi says she follows us from Southern California and hope to be able to come and visit one day. Love our post. I hope that you can come and visit soon as well. We've got Nicole in Pennsylvania. Loved visiting around 7 years ago. Yes, well, Rainforest Station's been here for about 40 years, so I think there'd be a few people that have visited over that time. So Clara5 wants to know, Shani, what is your favourite thing about being a wildlife keeper?
Well, my little niece Clara. My favourite thing about being a wildlife keeper is actually education, believe it or not. Obviously, I love working with the animals, but there's no point in having them if we're not going to use them for an education point of view. So teaching others about the animals I work with, the different things about their species or their personal little attributes like their personality. For example, here we have Phoebe, one of our other keepers.
Hi, Phoebe!
And Phoebe is in there trying to tempt Jimmy over with some of his favourite treats.
So what's Phoebe got down there? Looks very healthy.
So when we made the bowl up this morning, we put lots of his favourite treats in there, but something he might not have had before, which I've learnt works really well with lots of tree kangaroos, is almonds. So that's a special little treat.
Cool. And so he looks like he's a little bit shy. Are they a bit of a timid animal? And also, Taz wants to know, where would they be found locally in the wild?
So Lumholtz tree kangaroos are fairly shy. You have to be pretty lucky to be able to spot one in the wild. And luckily for us, you can definitely find them here on the tablelands and in the Mossman region in the rainforest as well. So in terms of the habitat they live in, they're a rainforest species, which is why you can see this beautiful browse that one of the keepers has placed in here over the last day. Now, Jimmy is actually a rescue tree kangaroo. He was rescued by the TRAC, which is Tree Kangaroo Rescue up here with Karen Coombs, and he was unable to be released back into the wild. So he's actually a local boy himself. He's from just up here on the tablelands.
Cool.
So you can find Lumholtz tree kangaroos anywhere south of the Daintree River and down to around the Tully region. Now,
have you ever seen one in the wild, Shani?
I have seen them quite a few times.
Really?
My favourite place, I think it's cheating, is to go and see them at Narada Tea House because they're in the trees just there. But I've also seen them at Malanda at the waterfalls there as well. So
cool.
You can certainly see them around. So when COVID all closes, definitely go check out your neighbourhood in rainforest areas for these beautiful creatures.
And then if you do miss out, luckily there is a couple that you can see within our group as well.
That's right.
At Wildlife Habitat in Port Douglas or up here at Rainforest Station. So someone said tree kangaroos look really small, are they? It could be because we are outside the enclosure, because like we said before, Jimmy does like his solitude a little bit. So that might be why he's looking small on camera. But what would you compare his size to?
He's actually pretty similar in size to Lily.
Right.
The difference here is if you take a look at his forelimbs, can you all see how muscular they are? Okay, so they're his two front limbs. Lily had really pin size, kind of like little needles as her arms when she was holding that corn. And the reason for this difference is because obviously being arboreal, which is tree dwelling.
Arboreal.
Arboreal, yeah, tree dwelling species. Jimmy needs to have really muscular forelimbs to pull himself up the stump of a tree.
And for jumping?
And not necessarily for jumping, no. He doesn't use those forelimbs at all to jump.
Really?
He purely uses those strong back legs.
So, what have we got? A few more people. So, Nicole asked why he wasn't able to be released. Now, Shani's only just come up to Rainforest Station from Habitat, so I'm not sure. Do you know that one?
I'm not too sure why. Hey?
Oh, from a car accident.
Car accident, there you go. Now, the reason he probably got involved in a car accident is because lots of Lumholtz tree kangaroos are going blind up here at the moment. We're not too sure why that's happening, but one scientist believes that it could be to do with the increase of toxins in the plants that Jimmy likes to eat. And that's due to the change in temperature, so climate change. So it's pretty horrible to think that that can be having effects today on animals that live here in our own backyard.
So, Ben wants to know, is there another species of tree roo found in our region?
There certainly is, and when I was saying that the Lumholtz tree kangaroo is found south of the Daintree River, the second species we can find in this region is the Bennett's tree kangaroo, which is found north of the Daintree River. Now, if anyone tuning in has ever seen a Bennett's tree kangaroo in the wild, I'll be super jealous because I still haven't. I believe they're far more elusive than the Lumholtz tree kangaroo.
Cool. Maybe you can comment if you've seen a Bennett's in the wild. Now we've got Chris again. Serial commenter. Do you shampoo the kangaroos? And if so, what brand? I use Pantene, but I'm looking to add some more volume to my hair, and Jimmy's pelt is absolutely luxuriant.
No, we don't have to shampoo the tree kangaroos at all. If an animal perhaps contracted a skin irritation or something like that, we might have to. But luckily for us, we don't need to shampoo Jimmy. I don't think he'd appreciate it.
No. Think of when you're washing your dogs and compare that to a more wild animal. I don't think that he'd like it.
That's right.
So apart from corn, what do they eat?
So tree kangaroos, in terms of their natural diet, you can see that the few branches around Jimmy's face there have been eaten. So they like to eat rainforest species of trees, which makes sense because they live up in the trees. Now, if you remember a few weeks ago from the koala, we termed the fresh growth chocolate the tip of the tree because that was what they really enjoyed eating. And that's the case for Jimmy as well, but he's a little bit less fussy than koalas. He'll eat the fresh growth, and on some branches, trees, he'll actually eat the fruits, and some he'll eat the mature leaf and even the little heart of the tree called the petiole. So they really eat quite a big variety. Here at the Rainforest Station and at the Habitat where we also house them, we like to offer them a variety of around 8 to 9 different types of trees every single day, in addition to what we call supplementary food, okay, which is that bowl of food we saw Phoebe offering Jimmy before, with corn, chickpeas. If anyone likes eating hummus, you're just like the tree kangaroos because that's one of their favourite things to eat.
Who doesn't love hummus, hey? Cool. Well, that's probably almost time up for us. So I hope you've enjoyed. Well, I mean, let's end on some koalas because
who doesn't like to see a
who
koala?
doesn't love a koala?
Who knows? We might even see a head sticking out.
Let's have a quick look and see if we can see one of the little joys. Now, if you've been following along with our Facebook Lives, you'll know that these koalas are actually being live streamed to YouTube via our capta.com.au website. So if you just pop on to capta, capta.com.au, you'll be able to see on the homepage there a live stream. And the reason why that is going to be so exciting soon is that there's actually 4 little joeys in this enclosure. Now, they haven't quite come out yet. The keepers have seen a little snippet of them. But if you keep an eye on that live, then maybe you'll see them when they come out. So we also have our Cairns Wildlife Lovers Facebook group. If you want to add yourself to that, we'll pop the address in the link and you can just add yourself. And in there we've got a lot of behind the scenes videos, we've got some activity sheets, we've got some colouring in sheets, and all sorts of goodies in there, and you can just add yourself to that. Cairns Wildlife Lovers, we'll put it in the comments. But apart from that, I think that's pretty much all from us for this week. So we'll sign off, and thanks for joining us. Don't forget our Facebook Lives are every Wednesday at 10 a.m. from Wildlife Habitat, and every Friday from our other parks, Rainforest Station, Australian Butterfly Sanctuary, and what was that? Was that a devil?
It was a dingo howl.
Oh, dingo howl. And Cairns Zoom and Wildlife Dome. So the next one will be Habitat on Wednesday, and then Australian Butterfly Sanctuary on Friday. So thanks for tuning in, and thanks Shani for all the cool information.
No
don't forget to share the video so people can watch it back, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.